Hi guys, AliTaylor here, and today we're going to test the new Ping G Hybrid against the G Crossover. So, a lot of you guys out there, and me to a certain extent, maybe aren't as good with those long irons as we'd like to be. So in the past, the easy one has been, if you're not good with your long irons, you put a hybrid in the bag. But for this season, Ping have released the Crossover. Now, I've already done a review video on the Crossover, and I think if you watch that video, you'll understand the fact that I don't necessarily, personally don't think it's a replacement iron for iron. But we're going to hit 6 shots with Crossover, 6 shots with hybrid, both on flight scope, normalised, so it's taken all the conditions out. And then I'm going to talk you through the numbers and maybe help some of you guys that might not get a chance to initially get down and hit it, might change your thinking in which one you might look to put in your bag. So we're going to hit the hybrid first of all, and obviously the idea with the hybrids is centre of gravity is further back, gets the ball up in the air, kind of gets that carry out there. So, you know, it looks really good behind the ball, still got the turbulators on top, which they've added for this year. And I've got this at 4, which is 22 degrees stiff shaft. And it does what it says. You know, the ball's up in the air, it's flying, and it's easy to hit. Now, I think most hybrids, you know, do that, promote getting the ball in the air. I think the issue for some guys with hybrids is they sometimes feel, and I'm definitely in this category, I don't know why, for some reason it feels like I can hit it left. I actually don't hit many shots left with hybrid, but it does, setting up, it kind of just looks and feels like I could hit this left. But it's a good shot, high. We'll see the numbers later for carry, but that looks like it'd land on the green at the appropriate distance and stop. And it's very, very forgiving, more of that metal wood technology. Again, just very, very easy to hit. And I have done a video on the G Hybrid. If you're watching this just recently, the review for the hybrid won't be up just yet, but it will be up shortly. If you're watching it further down the line, yes, that'll be there as well. But last couple with the hybrid. And again, yeah, this will be a hugely popular club this year because of its ease to hit. But one final one, and then let's get into the Crossover. Okay, so like I said, 6 pretty solid ones, and felt very, very similar with strike and what I was doing golf swing. So as we cross over, literally, onto the Crossover, a very different looking golf club to the hybrid, and it's not a driving iron. You know, Ping are keen to stress it is an iron replacement. This is the 4, which I believe is 21 degrees, so 1 degree difference between the two. But again, stiff shaft, graphite, which for some guys that play steel, again, it might not feel like for like in an iron. It's certainly a louder sounding club. And that was very noticeable when I did my review video, is the noise. Not sure will be everyone's cup of tea. But this is really about kind of performance. I mean, straight away with those first 2, solid, good shots. For me, looked a little bit lower. So it'll be interesting to see when we look at the numbers whether it is in fact lower than the hybrid. I think obviously the design of the club would be that I would probably expect to hit this a touch lower. And obviously maybe expect the launch to be a little bit lower with it being a degree less lofted. Again, I still think this is very, very easy to hit. I mean, really nowadays, with all the manufacturers, what they've got out there, if you struggle with long irons, there is absolutely no reason you should have a long iron in the bag that you struggle with. There should be something that you can find that helps you play better golf. So easy. Okay, let's go one final one with the crossover, and then let's look at the clubs just individually on how they performed, and then we'll get into how they performed side by side. Yeah. I would say, just as a feel-wise, maybe a couple with the crossover didn't feel quite as good a strike. Does that mean it's not as forgiving? Possibly, but let's look at some numbers and see how the two clubs performed. Okay, if we look at the hybrid first of all. So we had a maximum carry of 215, shortest carry of 195. So a 20-yard spread, but 203 total is pretty good. 98 mile an hour club head speed, spinning at 4,800. So if you look there, anything from just under 4,000 to over 5,500. So spins a lot. You know, so again, that in theory will get the ball stopping quickly on the green. And heights anything from 77 foot to over 100. So some really, really impressive numbers with the hybrid. As we go into the crossover, so we've got 191 to 212 as my carries. So again, average of 202, which is good. Spin anything from 3.5 to just over 5,000. So not spinning quite as much, but again, they're all good. 4-iron replacement should be spinning around 4,000, so that's very impressive. And height, anything from 77 to 94 foot. So guys, we look at the clubs side by side. 202 against 203 carry, so pretty much identical. Club speed, very similar. The hybrid spun it a little bit more and launched it a little bit higher and hit it a little bit higher overall. So the theory is if you're looking for something to hit it higher, stop it quicker on the green, certainly the hybrid, just off numbers, would be your choice. Okay guys, so we've looked at the numbers there, and like I said at the end of the review with the numbers, if you're looking for something that just solely on numbers, hits it high, hits it that good distance, spins it, that you can hit into those greens and stop the ball, for me the hybrid there, just on numbers, is the winner. I mean, it's so close on performance for those two clubs for me though. Part of my personal buying pattern then wouldn't just be down to performance. It'd probably be down to kind of looks, feel. I'll be honest, I prefer how the hybrid feels off the face. Just for me, the crossover a little bit loud off the face. The negative for me, and I mentioned it at the start, is with the hybrid, it feels like I can hit it left. I didn't in there, but I've always had that with hybrids, where I don't get that feeling with the crossover. And particularly the fact that I can get the lie angle adjusted on the crossover. For me personally, I would probably choose the crossover over the hybrid. Okay guys, so just my choice, Key for you guys, if you're not sure whether you're going to be a hybrid man or a crossover man, the key is get fitted. You know, so one of them might turn out to be head and shoulders better than the other on performance. If that's the case, it's a no-brainer. You just go with that one that performs best. If you're like me and you're very close, it might come down even to an element of emotion in there as to a feeling about something or how it looks. But for me, I'd personally be the crossover. If you guys have already been through this yourself, leave me some comments below and let me know which you went for and why you went for it. Was it performance? Was it looks? Was it feel? You know, were they very similar or were they massively different? As ever, guys, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch my video. Hope you've enjoyed it. Leave comments below and I'll get back to you. Subscribe to my channel if you don't already. Hopefully catch up with some of you down here in the future. Stay in contact.